Keysight's InfiniiVision X-Series oscilloscopes offer a broad range of application-specific licensed options to help you test and debug your automotive serial buses, including CAN, CAN-FD, LIN, SYNT, and FlexRay. In this short video, I'll give a demonstration of symbolically decoding and triggering on the LIN bus. Let's get started. Here we show an InfiniiVision X-Series oscilloscope triggering and decoding the LIN bus hexadecimally. In the upper part of the display we can see the protocol lister, which shows the information in a tabular format, and in the waveform area on the bottom half of the screen we can see each of the frames that's being captured, and below it are the decode information that's time correlated to each frame. If we want to see one particular frame with more resolution, see more detail, we can simply zoom in on it like that, and there we can see the frame ID and all the data contents in hex along with the checksum. But this is still pretty cryptic since everything's in hex. So let's now decode this bus symbolically. First, I'll insert my USB memory device that has the LDF file for this particular network stored on the thumb drive. The LDF file stands for LIN description file that defines this network. So let's recall the LDF file. And now the scope decodes the bus symbolically. So what we saw before is frame ID 30 hex now has a name, sim_frame, and then all the hex data has been demultiplexed into what's called signals with signal names. So here we see V battery and then values and units. And if we need to see more information, now notice here we're only seeing 2 signals. There are more signals in this particular frame. We can drill into this. Let's do that now. To see more details on this frame, I can select the packet viewer, and now in the upper half of the scope's display I can see all the information in this particular frame, again called sim frame, and now I can see there are 5 signals. There's V battery, engine speed, both of these have values with units, and the next 2, internal test and internal light request, are state encoded. They don't have numerical values, but they're state encoded. And there's many different conditions. You can see it flashing back and forth. Let's now set up the scope to specifically trigger on internal test when it fails. I'll first select the scope's trigger menu and then change from triggering on ID, which in this case I'm triggering on ID 30, to trigger on frame and signal symbolically. Underneath frame, I have a list of all the frames that are defined in this specific LDF file. There's only 3 in this one. A typical LDF file is going to have many more. So I need to select sim frame. Then under signal is a list of all the defined signals. I'll select internal test. And then for the value I want to trigger on, I'll select failed. And at this point I need to readjust my delay to get the frame back at center screen. And now you can see I've locked in on internal test failed. To learn more about Keysight's InfiniiVision X-Series oscilloscopes and how they can help you test and debug your automotive designs, contact an authorized Keysight distributor and ask for a demonstration. Thank you.